The fight of the summer is this Saturday, and I'm here to break it down and give you my predictions. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Kevin Zorger from Fast Hunt coming at you. Now, before I give you these predictions, I do not recommend that you take these and head to FanDuel and put some money on them. Because I don't want you guys reaching up to me on Saturday night how you lost your wife because you don't have any money and how you lost your home because you used my picks. Now, with that being said, let's get into this card. Now, this is a very unique SummerSlam because it doesn't have that big-time marquee match like a Daniel Bryan versus John Cena or a Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. It's a very story-driven card, and it's one of those cards that I feel like a lot of people in the IWC are kind of feeling a little bit underwhelmed with it. But if you look at it, every single match has a long-term story that has been being told. Now, let's start from the top. Let's start with Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, if going into this match, I would have sat and expected that Braun Breaker is going to be the favorite, and I'm assuming that he is the betting odds to win this match. If you remember, he lost to Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank, where a lot of people thought that he was going to come victorious, but for some reason he didn't. He came up short. I think this is the stage where Braun Breaker wins this match, has his coronation moment, and is the Intercontinental Champion. So with that being said, I'm going with Braun Breaker as my first prediction. Now, for the second match, we're going to have Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the Women's Championship. This is a match that is going to be kind of tricky to predict, but I'm going to try to do it. If you've been watching Monday Night Raw, to me, this is the main event of the match. Like I said in the previous video, this isn't going to be the match that's going to go last, but it's the match that has had the most intense story and has the most twists and turns that have been heading into SummerSlam. With that being said, my final prediction for that match is we're going to have Liv Morgan win. And the reason why Liv Morgan is going to win is because we are going to have Dominic Mysterio side with her and turn on Mommy. I think that the promo that was dropped on Monday that Liv Morgan put out, that she was talking about this is basically going to be the final moment of the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. I think that she is speaking like that because she has a trick up her sleeve and she knows that she has Dominic by the nuts and he will side with her and she will defeat Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Now, the next match we're going to get into is going to be Nia Jax and Bayley. This is a match that has been brewing for a couple of weeks. This has been getting good. If you've been watching Friday Night SmackDown, Nia Jax, she is the Queen of the Ring winner. She earned that by winning the Queen of the Ring tournament. And what I think is going to happen in this match is we're going to have a match where we have Bayley defeat Nia Jax. But what is going to happen is after she beats Nia Jax, we are going to have Tiffany Stratton cash in the women's Money in the Bank contract, and she is going to win the title off of Bayley, and that's going to set off this big-time feud between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. As if you know, if you've been watching the show, they have been friends, and there's been cracks in the relationship that's been brewing for a couple of weeks, and I think this SummerSlam night is going to be what's going to be the tipping point in that storyline. Next, we are going to go with Gunther and Damian Priest. Now, for months now, Gunther has been groomed to be the next guy to be the up-and-coming face of the WWE. If you've been watching the product, it has been months that in the making that he is going to have his coronation moment and become the World Heavyweight Champion. And I believe that this SummerSlam Saturday night, that is where we're going to see this moment. It could go back and forth. There is a way that I could see Damian Priest retain that championship and continue to have this little feud that he's been having with Finn Balor that's been brewing below the surface. But I think Saturday is going to be the night that we get our coronation with Gunther. Now, moving on to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. This is the match that I have been looking forward to the most. This is the match that I am the most curious about because this is CM Punk's first single match in the WWE in about 10 years. He is coming off of another torn pec that he suffered in the Royal Rumble. He is going against a big-time, big physical bruising guy like Drew McIntyre. And like we know, this is a story that has become very personal between the two. But I'm going to go with CM Punk. It's kind of a controversial pick, but I'm going to go with CM Punk. My head tells me that Drew McIntyre is a strong possibility of winning, and I know he is the betting favorite to win this match, but I think we're going to get a series of matches. And I think that the first match is going to go to CM Punk, and it's really going to set Drew McIntyre over the edge because we do have that Bad Blood pay-per-view in October, and I think that that is the perfect place for a Hell in a Cell match to be taking place. And I think we are going to get Drew McIntyre and CM Punk inside that Hell in a Cell. Now, the next match that I want to get into is Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Logan Paul is the hometown boy here at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is taking place in Cleveland, Ohio, the hometown of Logan Paul. He will be going up against LA Knight. And LA Knight is in a funny predicament. For months now, since Triple H has taken over creative, LA Knight has been red hot. There's been moments in time where it looked like LA Knight was going to get the rocket strapped to him, and then for some reason it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to work out. But he's continuously been a guy who's getting massive cheers from the crowd. He's a guy who the crowd seems to always be behind no matter what. And it seems like LA Knight needs that moment. We can't have a guy who we love and believe in constantly lose. As an audience member, eventually we just give up on the guy. And I think that this is the perfect opportunity for LA Knight to be rewarded and his fans to be rewarded. And I think he goes over Logan Paul because Logan Paul, like we all know, is a part-time guy. He hasn't really defended that title much since he's had it because he's much busier doing other things. So I think SummerSlam is a night that LA Knight gets that win. Now, after that, we are going to go into the main event, and the main event is Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Now, for me, this is a very predictable outcome. Cody Rhodes is going to win this match, but what I think is the most unpredictable part of this is this the night that we are going to get the return of the Tribal Chief? That is something that I'm very back and forth on because, as we know, Roman Reigns is a part-time guy, and we don't know how much he is going to be on TV once he does return. And we have the Bash in Berlin after this show, which is a big-time international stadium show. So he could be wrestling on that show. That's a very much of a possibility. And then we have Bad Blood in October. So I don't know what is going to happen if if Roman is going to return on SummerSlam this Saturday night. Gun to my head, I think he does, man. I think he does because this is this biggest stage WWE has to offer outside of the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And I think they want to make this return to be a big deal. And we all know that Solo Sikoa has been calling out Roman Reigns for the past couple of weeks, saying that he needs to acknowledge him as a new tribal chief. After a victory by Cody Rhodes, I do believe that that could set off the bloodline and they could be giving him another beatdown like they've been giving them the past couple of weeks. And that could initiate the return of the Tribal Chief. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes is going to retain the championship. And I am going to go with we are going to get the epic return of Roman Reigns this Saturday at SummerSlam. Let me know your thoughts. Give me your predictions in the comment sections. What do you think about my predictions? Where do you think I'm right at? Where do you think I'm wrong at? Remember to like and subscribe. I'm Kevin Zwicker. I'm out.